Welcome, this is 6-4, combining transformations. Guys, now you have done it all, and I want you to be able to look at this like a code. So when you see this, you should think, that's my A value. Because it's absolute value of less than 1 but greater than 0, it will be a compress. And then I would expect you to look at the markings here and know what shape that is. Should be saying a V shape, that's an absolute value. And then last but not least, I'd expect you to look at this and say, that's an H. It says a negative, but I know the negative is in the formula, so I know that's actually positive, so it's going to go right 3. So then we would go over to the graph, and we would say, ignore this graph right here, but we would say we're going to graph that graph 1/2 x minus 3. So we go, parent function, remember, went like this. Now this function, we're going to take the vertex, we're going to move it right 3, 1, 2, 3. But now we're going to shrink this graph down to the x-axis, half the distance down. So instead of going over 1 up 1, we're going to go over 1 up 1/2. Or over 2 up 1, because here it was over 2 up 2. So you go half the distance. And there's your new graph. Just like that. That's shrunk by 1/2 and over 3. Okay? So that's just putting some of the transformations together. Here's another one. This time, instead of a shrink, you should be saying, well, that'll be stretched by 3. That's not an H now, that's a K. K values are outside of the X quantity. And so we know with K value, that's down 7. So we would go down 7. Again, our parent function's right here. We go down 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And instead of it going like the parent function where it's up 1 over 1, it was stretched by 3, so we would go over 1 up 3. That would be a very, very tall and skinny function. Looks something like that. Okay? What would happen if that was a negative 3? Instead of a positive 3, how would that change that? Hopefully you're saying it would still go down to the 7, but instead of it going up, it's going to go down. Still be stretched by 3, so it's still that real steep thing. Okay? We're going to be ready for all of those in class. Here's a whole bunch of combinations here. This is a reflection, stretched by 2. H shift left 1, up 3. So the first thing I do is I move the vertex when I have multiple. I just go to the left 1, up 3, and I put my vertex. So left 1, up 3, and there's my vertex. Now I come back to the fact that it's stretched and that it's upside down. So I go to that vertex and I go upside down, and instead of going down 1 over 1, I go down 2 over 1 because I remember it's stretched. And then I draw it in there. Sorry, that pin's kind of fading. Okay? Now, the last thing that I want you to do, you'll do this in class, is I will give you a graph and I'll ask you to give me the equation. So the trick here is to find the vertex. The vertex is at -3, -1. You know that's my H value, so if I write the formula, A x minus H plus K, we know that it's absolute because it's the V shape. We just plug the -3 in here for K. A -3 would become +3, and a -1 for the K. So I always base things first off of the off the vertex. Now we look at whether or not it's stretched or shrunk. It does happen to come down instead of go up, so we know it's a negative. And if we count over, it goes over 1, down a half. Instead of over 1, down 1. Okay? Now, I would like to ask, if you were to take this function and you were going to transform it with a reflection, and let's go to the right set. Well, let's go 10. Okay, so we go 10 to the right. Now remember, right is a negative. And let's go up 2. I want the new equation. So you can actually do that. You can actually go right 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up to 1, 2. And flip it over. Reflect it. And give me the new equation, which would be 1/2 x minus 7 plus 1. Or you could actually get it up here without graphing. A negative and a negative make a positive. Let me use a different color because I'm getting kind of squeezed there. Negative and a negative make a positive. So it's positive 1/2. X plus 3 and a minus 10 make a minus 7. Positive 2 and a minus 1 make a positive 1. So you can see, you can get it algebraically or you can get it graphically. Okay, we'll see you in class. Be ready to play with these quite a bit.